Okay, so we're going to talk about before and after photos and how incredibly important they are, and also just tips and tricks on how to do them well, and then a practice testimonial on why it's transformed her business. Just curious, how many people are doing before and after photos? It's normal practice. And then how many people feel like they have it nailed? It's super consistent. Okay, all right, so good, I'm glad we're doing this talk. Why is it so important? I can't see the slide very well, I'm gonna come over here in the corner. What are you using for marketing on your website or your social media? How do your clients know to come to you? And what are you putting for marketing purposes just to, when they even do a referral to somebody else, come to them, they come and check to make sure, yes, I want to go to you guys, and there's nothing on your website, there's nothing on social media. How are you bringing the new clientele in? What tools are you using in a consultation? You're telling them the science behind it, how much it's going to help them, all the good things, and they're really excited, but you can't showcase what you've actually done for your clients, for yourself. All these, I'm sure you've heard a lot of just personal testimonials up here, and that tugs at the heartstring, and they want to see this. They want to see how you've helped others. How are you showing a combination approach that will help increase your ROI? We've talked about that a lot. Combining all these treatments, getting the best result. However, that's going to be more expensive for the client, right? When you start doing 2, 3, 4, 5 modalities, the price is going to go up. You need to be able to show them why they are purchasing that combination to get the results faster, because typically that's what your patients are wanting, to show them that so they know what to expect after one treatment, that huge transformation for the ticket price, right? How are you making your patients happy with their results and building trust with them? You guys know collagen is a very, 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 very slow process in the body. Do you guys have clients already that sometimes get one treatment done and they come back and they're like, this isn't working for me? Hopefully not, because your consultations are really amazing and you're telling them exactly how it's working in their skin and that collagen is a bit slower and it's not overnight. Even if your consultation is perfect, you're still gonna have those clients. What are you gonna do when they come and say, this isn't working for me, and you can't sit them in front of their before and after, and they actually see this huge progression? The problem is they're seeing themselves in the mirror every day and they're not noticing how bad it really was. Okay, so we need to, yes, take great before and after photos. I got a few slides from Audrey Neff from Patient Now. Thank you so much. She always has my back. And I just want to hit home on why it's so important to have before and after photos. So just little statistics here. So these are the things that patients are looking at when they're going to your website. What are the most important? So product information, it's important. 28% is still high. Of course, it's not the highest. Reviews and testimonials. Again, going back to it tugs at the heartstring. People want to know that you've changed other people's lives. So make sure that you're putting up those testimonials and reviews. I mean, what were we doing today to get a spin? Yesterday to get a spin? Reviews. They're important. And then 43% of patients are looking at before and after photos. So make sure that your gallery is full. Make sure that you're really with posting them, as long as you get a waiver, of course, that you can. And that's another thing. When you're giving them their new hire paperwork, where was my brain? Their patient intake form and their consent form, make sure to have that form asking, can I use your photos for marketing purposes? Okay, so would you consider reaching out to a practice that did not have a prominent before and after photo gallery on their website? 75% say no. 75%. That means if you don't have a prominent gallery, tomorrow you are losing 75% of patients that you could be obtaining just by doing really this simple thing. Okay, and then what that translates is 4 out of 5 patients who's viewing before and afters are gonna say yes or no. If they love it, if they see it, come to you. Now, we're going to talk about, and Devon's going to go into this in more detail, sorry, just one more slide, the importance of consistency. So I just want to show you guys like a little exercise that I did. So the 2 photos that I'm going to put up are Pigment, both of them. Both practices are pigment. And I just want you guys to see how important consistency is. Which practice would you choose to go to for your pigment treatment? Although maybe one, the results are better. Okay, so before and after of pigment. What are you guys seeing maybe wrong here? Exactly, it's not the same. We can't even see that the spot, it's probably gone, yes, but we can't see it. The lighting is off. She probably took it at home. The professionalism and the consistency isn't there. Now, when we take a look at this, which practice would you choose? It's so important. Same backdrop, same lighting, same angle, same distance, which Devon will be going through. Okay, these are both acne scars, the two I'm gonna show you. What are we seeing wrong here? It's not as bad, lighting. What's the other major thing? The second one looks fuzzy, and the patients are gonna pick up on that. Are you big on social media, like, I don't know, following other doctors, learning other things? Look at their comments when they post before and after photos. Even if the plastic surgeon is amazing, the patients are constantly nitpicking. The lighting is off, this isn't real. They are all over it. They're possibly all over it more than you. So they're questioning, this is fuzzy, it's not a real result. Okay, let's look at this one. So clean. So again, which practice would you go to? And again, it's the result. It could be better on the left. It doesn't matter. That's how important it is. One last one before I pass it to Devon. Which one do you like better on the right side, the top or the bottom? Do you know why you like the bottom? That's it. There's one more reason, an even bigger one. Yeah, do you know what's different about the lighting? All they did is they turned off the overhead lighting in the room. So they turned off these lights in their room and just used one single source, one light, one ring light. All these little things matter. But Devon's gonna go through that in more detail. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's all right. Here you go.
Yeah,
Good, Mike.
okay. All right, so considering 43% of our patients are looking at before and after photos, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks so this way you can take great before and after photos. So the first thing we're gonna dive into are, you wanna make sure that you have the same conditions every time for your before and after photos, right? So the same room. The same room is a great place to start. And why? Because then you're gonna have the same background in that room, and then you're also gonna have the same lighting in that room. I remember, I think we had 9 rooms, yes, when I was working for Dr. Hustler. And in some of those rooms, there was some warm lighting, but in other rooms, there was some cool lighting. So then let's say we did like a V-series, V-form treatments, right? And they came in 3 months after because they wanted to take their after photo. If I did not have that patient in the same room they were in initially, the lighting could potentially look different and it would reflect differently on the skin. So then I was like, this isn't as consistent as I want it to be. So just think of these things ahead of time for sure. You also want to make sure that you are the same distance from your patient. I see a lot of times people automatically have that camera in their hands and they want to do all of the moving. They're like, okay, I'll get this angle, I'll get this angle. Okay, great. Why you don't want to do that is because when you take your after photos, you're probably not going to get the same exact angle. Just much like that first picture Kara showed you, right? The angles were different. So you want to make sure that your patient's doing all of the work. Whether it be a foot mat that you have, we sell those on the portal, I think, right? Yeah, we have foot mats on the portal, or whether it be tape, just something that keeps the patient consistent and all of your patients consistent so you can build a nice portfolio for your practice. You also want to make sure that you have the same camera and tripod height. I know for me, I didn't necessarily use a tripod. What was helpful to me was if I had a patient who was taller than me, we had one chair in the office and the patients would sit in that one chair, and then I could use kind of that to help me out. And then Heather might be able to kind of touch on that a little bit more with her practice and her experience too. But I just found then I could become more level because nobody wants to see a picture, that's like looking upwards into your nose, right? Okay. As far as clothing goes, that's a huge thing, right? Clothing, we want to be consistent, but it's very difficult if your patient comes in February for a treatment and now they're coming in June for another to have them wear the same exact outfit, right? So it is helpful if you're doing any type of body treatments, I would say, to have maybe disposable underwear or disposable garments, even some type of gown that they could put on so everything looks exactly the same every time. It's also important to make sure that it's loose fitted and it's not super tight, right? Because we don't want it to look worse in the beginning because the clothing's too tight, and then afterwards it's looser, so it automatically looks different. And what else? What else? Oh, and you don't want any jewelry in the frame because that's going to take away from everything, right? What else? Oh, another thing you want to take into consideration is going to be makeup, right? How often do we see photos of patients and in the before, they're not wearing any makeup, the lighting is poor, it kind of looks like, you know, those fluorescent bulbs where it just catches everything in the skin. Then afterwards, that lighting's different, but they also all of a sudden have makeup on now too. Make sure there's no makeup on, no distractions whatsoever. You want the audience to be looking at what you treated specifically, okay? Patient positioning is going to be super important. If you are treating the face, of course, you're going to want a shot straight looking at the face, but you also want to make sure that you have 45-degree angles and that you also have 90-degree angles. A lot of times patients, when you say, okay, now I need you to face, you know, this corner of the room, they just move their head towards that corner of the room, right? You don't want that. You want to make sure that the whole body turns so that all of the photos are consistent in the befores and afters. Piggybacking off of that, a lot of times, especially when you get to that 90-degree turn, if you're trying to take a before and after of like the submentum area because you're going to, you know, use V-form to help, you know, reduce fat in the area, a lot of people in those before photos, just by default, because maybe it's an insecurity, they kind of look up towards the sky, right? So you want to make sure that they're looking directly in front of them, they're not looking downwards, and they're not looking upwards. How many of you have seen some photos on social media where the before, their patient's looking down, which gives me a nice double chin, and then the after photo, they're looking straight up to the sky, and immediately it's gone. It's all over the place, but you catch it, right? So just make sure that it's really nice and consistent. Something the plastic I had worked for taught me was you have to make sure that when the patient is at that 90-degree angle, you have this imaginary line that starts at the nose, think of where the nostril is, and then it goes back towards the tragus. You want to make sure that that's parallel to the ground, because if it's angled this way, it's not good, and if it's angled up that way, it's not good. And that helped me out a lot for photos. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, let's talk about the body a little bit more, bounce back a little bit. So let's say somebody came in and we were treating the abdomen or the legs. We typically want to make sure that we're positioning them with their feet hip-width apart, and you want them to stand like I Dream of Jeannie, okay? Something I've also noticed too is that a lot of patients tend to suck it in right before you're going to take that photo. I do it all the time. So make sure that you have them take a nice breath in and then exhale and then take that photo. I also like to make sure that I'm taking photos with flash off and on in every single position, whether it be for the face, whether it be for the body, because sometimes I notice the lighting can catch things a little bit differently, and it helped me kind of put a little nice before and after photo together for the patient. Any questions about that? Okay, am I forgetting anything? Anything to add?
I believe in smiling photos. I think it's great. But I would say if you're going to do a smiling photo, you're always just doing a straight face. And then use that trick of breathing in and out, and their whole face relaxes. And that's when you would snap it. You can always do smiling, of course, but you really need the true photo.
Right. And that actually just reminded me too, you know, a lot of patients who were coming into the practice I worked for, you know, had heavy lids, and maybe they were coming in for their pre-op because they were going to have an upper blepharoplasty done. So we know by default that if somebody has heavy eyelids, they're going to just naturally raise their brow. They don't even realize that they're doing it because it just feels better to do that. So when you're taking photos of the patient, what I would like to do is I'd go up to them, I would just kind of put my hand over their head, their forehead, and I would say, okay, relax your brow and close your eyes. Now open your eyes. And it would drop the brow, and now I had a better baseline photo for their pictures. Yeah. Okay.
I know Devon hit on this, and then yeah, you add a few. I know Devon hit on this, but it really is so important. I think it's the one thing I see the most that people kind of ignore. Oh, actually, two things. So the undergarments being the same and just black. That's really a big thing that messes up the photos, and it's kind of something that we forget. Outside lighting. If your before and after photos are in a room with a window, make sure to get a blackout curtain. It can be pretty, but a blackout curtain that you pull closed, because if they're getting their photos done at 9 a.m. and then 5 p.m. the next time, they're going to be completely different. So honestly, your before and after room should be pitch black, and then you turn on your ring light or your single source lighting that's mounted, on the wall if you have that kind of practice.
I always say we all love selfies, and natural lighting is always so fun for those. But when it comes to your before and after photos, definitely want to make sure that you follow what Kara just said.
I also want to tell you with RX Photo, we're going to be raffling that off right after this. So it's 1 year for RX. It helps with consistency. So taking before and after photos, it's truly an art. It takes a bit to master. But with this, it's an app. You can put it on your iPad or your phone or whatever you're using, and it's ensuring that you're getting consistency. It's ensuring that the face is in the frame the exact same way every time. I mean, yes, you need to fix your lighting, but it's a tool to really help because we know how hard it is.
Perfect. Well, that was all I had to add. So, Heather, you're up.
I would just add that the angle of the iPad and the camera, like the actual angle, we all know that if we're taking a selfie and we angle it up like this, we look skinny, right? Look thinner. The same thing applies. So if your angle, I've noticed that when you're using an iPad, sometimes it gets heavy, and so it will start to angle this way or this way. So just make sure that it's nice and straight when you're taking the photo. That makes a big difference in photos. Tripods for sure. Yeah, they do. Yes, for sure. Black curtain. Do we talk about black curtain? For sure. I cannot recommend that more. Especially black garments with a black curtain. Your eye goes directly to the area of concern. Making sure that you're in the exact same, you're at the level of whatever you're treating to. I think you talked a little bit about that with the face. And being tall and short, that is super important. And some of your employees may be tall and short, like you said. I do the same with a chair. But just making sure that you're you are definitely right across from whatever you're treating. So what does that mean? If you're treating legs, you're sitting in a chair yourself, right? You're lower. If you're taking the photo from up here, it's going to look much different than if you're right in the same angle.
We want you guys to be really successful with this. We're very passionate about before and after photos. The before and after mat that we sell on the portal, it's great. But something that you can do on top of that is if it's just face, like face and neck, body, you're going to need the standing pad. If it's face or neck, you can get just a little swivel chair and then just put stars on the wall. So it's easy. You tell them to look at this star, 90. You have them swivel to orange star, and it's going to give the 45. So that's been a helpful thing when I go to my plastic surgeon's office, is having that. It makes they bust it out, and you're quick, and you're out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I promise, last one, and then I'll let Heather take over completely. But I just thought of something else that used to happen to us. So does anybody ever get like a weird shadow background in their before and after photos? I see a lot of head nods. Okay, this was our number one problem too. So, funny story, we had a patient come in for a rhinoplasty who was also a photographer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys have a lot of shadowing, behind your photos." And I said, "Yeah, we do, and it's been driving us crazy. Like, how do you fix that?" You get a diffuser. So if you have like a Canon or a Nikon, you can get a diffuser, and then it softens the background and reduces the shadow. We did that. We had 0 shadows in or behind our patients from then on out. Yes.
It's honestly consistency. That's it. It's just consistency. Yeah, I mean, really. Now, if they're coming in for eyes, it's great to do a close-up just of the eyes, but don't just do that. you have to get the full face as well. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what really shows the result is the full face photo, right? But as long as you're consistent, that's the number one thing. But I would say we're typically 7, maybe 3 steps behind? Feet? I don't know.
Consistent, really. Yeah, consistency. I would say, if anything, a little bit further back, if you have a really good quality camera, so that you can zoom. Just make sure that it's not blurry when you do zoom in. But you could get different angle or different shots almost from the full abdomen versus like really close to the low abdomen. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, I know. I'll be quick. It's okay. I'll be quick. All right. Kara talked about this a little bit, but before and after photos, having my own before and after photos have really, truly changed my practice. So I'm really passionate about it. I use it on social media, my website, brochures, waiting room loop, marketing material. It's content, right? So we're always looking for content for our business. We're always looking for stuff for our social media. This is good quality content that obviously clients are looking at from those statistics. And these are some of my before and after photos in this too. Okay, so just the importance of quality before and after photos, definitely confidence. So this is building confidence of our patients in their investment. Like Kara said, so many people will come in and they're like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I see results. You show them their before and after photos, all of a sudden they're like, can you send that to me? I'm gonna send it to all my friends. I'm gonna send it, and they came in not sure if they really see results. So it is a necessity to these treatments. Confidence of the patient in you as a practitioner, and even in themselves. You just see them change. When they see that after photo, you just see their whole demeanor change. They're proud of what they've done for themselves. So what does that mean? That means they're gonna continue to purchase with you. They're gonna be a lifelong client. So confidence all around definitely generates happy lifelong clients and employees that want to purchase and sell more. I think one of the big things this has helped is actually my employees to be excited about these treatments that they're doing, right? And the confidence that it builds in your employees and in your practice is going to in turn help you sell. Yeah, there should have been. Oh no, it's okay. All right, I'll just add really quick. In a consultation setting, having your own before and after photos, we have tons of before and after photos. Some of them are even mine. Use them, that's great. However, having your own before and after photos is huge in a consultation setting, and it has been for me. If I were to show you a photo of this really cute 5-year-old girl right now, but like, isn't she cute? Yeah, everyone would be like, great. But if I showed you a picture of my daughter, I'd be like, this is my daughter, this is Vienna, blah, blah, blah. It's just different when it's your own, right? You speak differently on it. So in a consultation, when you're telling this story of this person, and you can say, this person came to me and blah, 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 blah. You know, everyone has their own story. And this was their result. They feel that energy. They know, and they want to be that person. They want to be the person in that after photo that you're then talking about. So they're going to also be excited about you using their after photos. So having them in a consultation is everything, and it has really, really helped me sell. Anything else? Any questions? Okay.